Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and welcome back to Temple Beth Shalom. We have a full Shabbat of activities. Tonight we begin Smachot for the Schimmel family and the Basner family as they celebrate, respectively, Sydney's and Emmy's Benot Mitzvah tomorrow. So it'll be a wonderful Simcha, I'm sure, for everyone. We have a nice crowd in the sanctuary, and for those of you that are watching online. As always, we encourage you to go to our website to see the different programs that are happening, and believe me, there are plenty of them as I'm explaining them to you. And last week, this past Wednesday, we had a wonderful sisterhood program with a very funny comedian. And this Thursday, for the guys, it's our brotherhood kickoff finally, and it's schnapps and schnitzel, and you can't go wrong. There's a lot of things going on. We have our school holiday bazaar happening on Tuesday. We have parenting classes beginning. There's one on Tuesday evening and one on Wednesday morning. There's meditation classes. There's book reviews. There's just a lot of things going on. If that weren't enough, Hanukkah is just a few weeks away. So please look out for all the information. But at this point, Rabbi Pomerantz often says it's time to take a deep breath, welcome in the Shabbat, and enjoy everything about Shabbat. So on behalf of everyone here at Temple Beth Shalom, we wish you all a Shabbat Shalom.
Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. And with thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Hine mato, umanayim, shevet achim, gam yachad. Hine mato, umanayim, shevet achim, gam yachad. Lord, prepare me. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be your living sanctuary. For hine matov, umanayim, shevet achim, gam yachad. Hine matov, umanayim, shevet achim, gam yachad.
Shabbat Shalom, and welcome to all of you who are here in our Temple Beth Shalom sanctuary, and welcome to all of you who are at home or someplace else in your own portable sanctuary this Shabbat. We welcome you. Tonight we celebrate with our two Benot Mitzvah families. We celebrate with one who has chosen to join our people, and we acknowledge with gratitude our veterans. And it is Shabbat, the pause between the past and the future. One rabbi says that Shabbat should be not just a moment in time, but should lead us to a state of being which we find to be meaningful and beautiful. Our prayers, our language, our intentions should not be focused on the what, where, why, and how of either Shabbat or God. But as Martin Buber said, God does not want to be believed in, to be debated by us, but simply to be realized by us. Let this moment in time together lead us to realize a state of being which we find to be meaningful and beautiful. Shabbat Shalom. We're going to continue with the kindling of our Shabbat candles, and I want to invite up our Benot Mitzvah Sydney and Emmy and their families to lead us in the blessings found on page 2.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter the sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
Amen. And we continue with Kiddush, page 4.
And there was evening, and there was morning, the 6th day. The heaven and the earth were finished. Okay, I'm happy to.
Read it together, if you don't mind. Share the mic and read it
Sure.
together.
The heaven and the earth were finished, and all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing, and God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Are you two going to come down? Are you ready? You're going to do it together. Okay? 1, 2.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinhilanu zikaron Lema'aseh Bereshit Ki hu yom tehila Lemikra kodesh Zecher Litiyat Mitzrayim Kivanu Baharta Be'otanu Kidasha Mikol ha'amim Beshabbat Kosheha Be'ahava uvratzon Hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen.
L'chaim.
Okay, you're going to
And As they're enjoying a little bit of l'chaim down there,
Share it with your family. Share some wine with your
I'm
family.
going to ask us all to turn in our prayer books to page 6, and let's read together this beautiful reading on the bottom of the page. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May it welcome all who care to be unburdened, thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May this synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. We continue on page 15, Hariu.
With the South African melody.
Together. Zamrula Donai Bechinor Bekozim La 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 Ya La 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 Ya La 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 La
Continue welcoming Shabbat L'Chadodi, found on page 20, verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And on the very last verse, we'll rise and we'll face the door to metaphorically welcome Shabbat.
Ya la 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 L'Chadodi Ya la 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 Likrat Kala Ya la 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 Pnei Shabbat Pnei Shabbat Nekabe Ya la 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 L'Chadodi Ya la 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 Likrat Kala Ya la 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 Pnei Shabbat Pnei Shabbat Nekabela Shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad Hishmianu el hamyuchad Adonai echad Ushmo echad L'shem u'tiferet v'litchila Ya la 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 L'chadodi כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה סוף מעשה במחשבת תחילה יאי לי לי יא לה 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 לך דודי יא לה 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 נקרא קלה יא לה 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 פני שבת נקבלה התעוררי כי בעורק קומי אורי שיר דברי כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה יאי לי לי יא לה 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 לך דודי יא לה 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 נקרא קלה יא לה 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 פני שבת נקבלה בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובשולה תוך אמונה עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה יאי לי לי יא לה 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 לך דודי יא לה 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 נקראת קלה יא לה 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 פני שבת נקבל יא לה 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 לך דודי יא לה 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 נקראת קלה יא לה 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 פני שבת נקבלה.
Page 28, we remain standing for the call to worship Baruch Hu.
Ya la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, Baruch Hu et Adonai. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam va'ed Le'olam 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 Ya la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la.
Page 32. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, We will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel.
Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael.
We remain standing as I invite our Benot Mitzvah up to lead us in Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem, Kavod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Please be seated. Ve'ata et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavecha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadevarim ha'elech asher anochi metavecha hayom al levavecha ve'shinatam levanecha ve'dibarta bam ve'shivtecha bebetecha uvlektecha baderech u'shochtecha uvkumecha Ukshartam leot al yadecha vehayu letotafot bein einecha Uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim le'Elohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Mazel tov to Sydney and to Emmy. Wonderful moment in their lives and certainly in the lives of their families as well. Mazel tov. You sound beautiful. Really great. We continue together. Let's read this prayer at the top of page 39. Let's read together. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Mi chamocha.
Bi chamocha ba'elim Adonai
pray together for some love and understanding with words of Hashkivenu, page 43.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Once more. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, leshalom, vehamidenu, shomreinu lechayim, ufrosalenu, sukat shlomecha. Hashkiven, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, leshalom. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, leshalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
We lift our voices and our souls and our bodies with the Amidah, the central part of our prayer service. It begins on page 46 and then continues on the even number pages. Please rise.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot Ve'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lama'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor leolam Adonai, Mechayei hakol atarav lehoshia. Mashiv haruach umorid hagashem. Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umidom elach, Melech Meimid Umechaye Umatzmiach Yeshua V'neman Hatala Hachayot HaKol Baruch atah Adonai v'chayei hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh.
You may be seated. So, all of us use the pandemic in different ways. Some of us became experts on the Peloton. Some of us learned new cooking skills, read great books. The young man who is here this evening used the time of the pandemic to learn to be a Jew. And so it is such a pleasure to invite up Adrian Turcato to our bima. Adrian is married to Jacqueline Brandon, who grew up here at Temple Beth Shalom and was in my daughter's Hannah's class. And come on. And it has really been a delight studying with him. He has such a curious mind. He tried to teach himself Hebrew on his own, studied Spinoza, was very serious about his studies. So Adrian, I'm going to ask you to come stand right here. O God, grant loving favor to Adrian as in this holy place we welcome him into Jewish life. Knowing well the history of our martyrdom in years past, Adrian has chosen to join himself to our people's faith. We open our hearts to him, strengthen him in his resolve. Help him to live in fidelity to the decision he has made and to the promise he is about to utter. May he always find satisfaction and joy in the fulfillment of your sacred mitzvot. Grant him many years of strength and happiness as a worthy member of our congregation. We praise you, O God, in whose presence is the fullness of joy. Amen. Amen. And now, Adrian, I'm going to ask you 6 questions, and I hope the answer will be yes. Do you choose to enter the eternal covenant between God and the people Israel and to become a Jew of your own free will?
Yes.
Do you accept Judaism to the exclusion of all other religious faiths and practices?
Yes.
Do you pledge your loyalty to Judaism and to the Jewish people under all circumstances?
Yes.
Do you promise to establish a Jewish home and to participate actively in the life of the synagogue and of the Jewish community?
Yes.
Do you commit yourself to the pursuit of Torah and of Jewish knowledge?
Yes.
And you have already been blessed with a child and, God willing, future children, baby Simon, who's there in the congregation. Do you promise to raise them as Jews?
Yes.
Beautiful. And now you have chosen to read a passage from the book of Ruth to share with our congregation.
Ruth said, "Entreat me not to leave you or to return from following after you. For wherever you go, I will go. Wherever you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God, my God. Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried."
Beautiful. And now I'm going to ask you to share with the congregation some of your personal thoughts and reflections at this time. You can move here if it's easier for you. You can take off your mask if you want to.
Thank you. My conversion has been a long and winding journey. Over many years and across a wide variety of settings and occasions, I have continually found myself surrounded by Jews in communities I find nurturing and fulfilling. Over this time, I have come to see a diverse portrait of American Jewish life, and what I have come to like the most about these communities is the sense of history, the culture of discussion and introspection, and the feeling of being part of something. Perhaps, unsurprisingly, I am also attracted to the sense that I fit in. As someone who tends towards the analytical and intellectual, I've often felt like the odd man out, but over the years amongst Jews, I feel like I am the norm rather than the exception. I feel at ease amongst Jewish people, and I feel that my values mesh seamlessly with the Jewish cultural values. With the birth of my first child nearly 4 months ago, the importance of having a community which sets an example for a virtuous life has taken on a sense of urgency and momentousness. In that regards, I want to thank everyone who has made me feel welcome over the years, including some people watching remotely, as well as with us here tonight, and many more who are not, including the whole Brandon family, Jeremy Morales, Joey Baruch, David Smokler, and Linda Sukloff. And finally, to get a bit theological for a moment, I've always tended towards a relatively agnostic outlook on the nature of God. For me, God has always resided in the realm of those fundamental forces of the universe that will forever elude the human mind. In this sense, God exists in the life he is given primarily through the practice of worship. And I think much of what constitutes spirituality is the natural urge towards marveling at and grappling with the awe-inspiring miracle of existence. As the Kabbalists have asked, why does something exist rather than nothing? Grappling with these questions is something I am inclined to naturally. It is also not something that necessarily requires participation in organized religion. However, in my eyes, religion and Judaism in particular have been wrestling with these questions for thousands of years, and it is a blessing to be able to participate in this community.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much. And I invited Adrian to wear a talit for the first time in his life as he has become a Jewish adult tonight. And as he puts this on, I'm going to invite Jacqueline and Simon to join us on the bima. Amen. And the next part of our service will take place in front of the open ark, so I invite you all to please rise if you're able. So Adrian, stand here. Got it. You can stand next to him. Adrian, you stand before the open ark and before the commanding presence of the Torah, the Jewish people's most cherished treasure. It has led us on the way and guided us ever since we received it at Sinai. It has been carried during the times of our greatest rejoicing and when we fled from burning synagogues and villages. I have placed the Torah in your arms. Take it to your heart as you now recite the words of the Shema, the words on the lips of the Jew until the moment of death, and the affirmation that has sustained the Jewish people in life since our beginnings.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Beautiful. And now I have the great good fortune of bestowing the Hebrew name you have so carefully chosen upon you. You are known by the name Adrian, also Mark, which means that you are always linked in love to those who gave you life. And from this time forth, you shall also be known within the Jewish community as Adar ben Avraham v'Sarah. And Adar has many meanings for Adrian. First of all, he was born in the month of Adar, which is beautiful. Secondly, his name Adrian has the first consonants of the word Adar. We also have this wonderful saying in our tradition, Mishanek Nes Adar, Marbim B'Simcha, which means when the month of Adar comes, we increase our joyfulness. And truly, our community is more joyful with your presence in it. I know you are going to be a serious, thoughtful, and contributing Jew to our community. It also means noble and exalted, so that's a big name to live up to, and I'm sure you will. May this name bring respect to you, and honor to the Jewish people. We rejoice to welcome into our midst one who willingly and devotedly helps replenish the ranks of our people. And now I'm going to invite the cantor and Rabbi Davis to join me here as we bless Adrian in the words of the priestly benediction. And we're going to include you in the blessing too, Jacqueline and Simon. Here we go.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
Ken Yiratzon. May God bless you and keep you.
Ya'ir Adonai panav elecha v'yikuneka.
Ken Yiratzon. May the light of God's face shine on you and shine through you and always be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasam lecha shalom.
Ken Yiratzon. May God's presence always be with you, however you may feel that presence. And may God grant you and Jacqueline and Simon a lifetime of good health, of joy, of love, and of shalom, of wholeness and peace. Amen. Amen. Mazel tov. And this morning, Jacqueline told me that her favorite song growing up here at Temple Beth Shalom was the Shehechianu. And this is a Shehechianu moment, so we're all going to sing it together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Is this on? Yes, great. It's beautiful that Adrian spoke about God, because that's what I'm speaking about tonight too. This Shabbat, we read Parashah Vayetze, which is a story of Jacob fleeing for his life after stealing his brother Esau's blessing, and having this famous dream of a ladder that's planted on the ground and reaches all the way to the sky. Several years ago, I had the great pleasure of studying with the former chief rabbi of England, Lord Rabbi Jonathan Sacks. May he rest in peace. And he told this remarkable story about an experience he had coming home from Yitzhak Rabin's funeral in Israel 26 years ago on November 6, 1995. Now, some of you have heard me tell this story before, and it's too good a story to only tell once, so I'm telling it again. Rabbi Sacks was invited to go to this funeral as a dignitary. And as such, he traveled on the Queen's plane, which had the distinction of taking twice as long as a normal plane. And he traveled with Tony Blair and with Prince Charles. Now, this plane had only 6 seats in it. There were 3 seats facing 3 seats. And what does a rabbi do on a long flight? Well, he studies Torah. And so he took out his holy book called the Mikraot Gedolot, which had those different Hebrew texts all over the page, and he started studying. And Tony Blair saw this, and he's a religious man, and so he asked the rabbi to teach him some Torah. And so the rabbi started talking to him, and then Prince Charles wanted to get in on the act, and he started asking questions as well. And there he sat teaching Torah to the future Prime Minister of England at that time and the future King of England. And at the end of the flight, at the end of the lesson, Tony Blair asked him a question. He asked, "How come your text is so much more interesting than ours?" And Rabbi Sachs thought about it for a minute, and upon reflection, he said, "Because in Christianity, the highest goal is to reach heaven. But in Judaism, the highest goal is to bring a piece of heaven down to earth." So this is what this week's Torah portion is really about, and the story of Jacob's life. First, he's running away from his brother's wrath, and he has a dream about those angels going up and down a ladder that ascends to heaven. And when he wakes up, he says, "Achen, yesh Adonai b'makom hazeh v'anochi lo yadati," which means, wow, God was in this place, and I didn't even know it. Jacob suddenly understands that God is present, not somewhere far off, but up close and personal. And what's even more interesting is when he has this encounter with God, it's not on a beautiful mountaintop or during a breathtaking sunset or at the miraculous birth of a child. It is instead this moment of crisis, laying on the ground, using a rock for a pillow. That's when he feels God's presence. As Jews, we often struggle with faith. In my confirmation class this year, and I have one of my students right here in the front row, I asked my students to write down their biggest questions in life. Most of them were about God. Is God real? One student wrote. Is God real? Another student wrote. Is God real? Is God real? The question was asked 4 times. Is God real? My teacher in rabbinical school, Rabbi Larry Kushner, who's going to be joining us this year for our Kavanah retreat in January, and he is amazing. He's fond of telling a story about one of his teachers in rabbinical school, an older Southern gentleman by the name of Rabbi Samuel Sandmel. This is what Rabbi Sandmel used to tell his students. "Gentlemen," because they were all men at that time, "Gentlemen, if you don't seriously doubt the existence of God every 2 or 3 days, then you are comatose." That's rabbinical school. There is a definite difference between being able to articulate a definitive belief in God and the experience of feeling close to God, as Jacob did in our Torah portion. Rabbi Kushner is fond of telling another story about his confirmation students. He asked them one day how many of them believed in God, and much to his chagrin and angst, not one student raised their hands. But later in the class, being the clever man that he is, he asked the question a different way. "How many of you have ever felt close to God?" he asked, and every hand went up. Not being able to articulate how or what or why we believe, thankfully, may not be an impediment to experiencing God in our lives. We never know when we might have a flash of insight like Jacob did. But you know, there are things that we can do to help cultivate that sense of awareness in our lives so that our souls will be more open to those moments. meditation, prayer, singing, dancing, Torah study, slowing down, meaningful encounters with one another, a hike in the mountains, a swim in the ocean, or a camp out using a rock for a pillow. Our tradition teaches us that God dwells wherever we let God in. May we open our hearts and minds wherever we are to experience the holy in our lives, to bring a piece of heaven down here to earth, so that we too might say, Achen, yesh Adonai b'makom hazeh, v'anochi lo yadati. Wow, God is in this place, and I didn't even know it. Amen.
I am all around in every daydream. I am all you are and all you know. I am all around. I heard this voice say, I am all you are and all you know. Never far away, I'm on your side. This voice went on to say, here's how you know. See me in the sunny mornings, like the clouds I'm high above. I have filled your days with laughter and your heart with love. Achen yesh Adonai b'makom hazeh anochi lo yadati. Achen yesh Adonai b'makom hazeh anochi lo yadati. Wanting to believe this voice inside me, trust there's something there for me to hold. I know I'm not alone with all these feelings. History has shown, and we've been told. Can you hear the children singing? Don't you feel their spirit glow? Surely God is with me always, but I did not know. Achen yesh Adonai b'makom hazeh anochi lo yadati. Achen yesh Adonai b'makom hazeh anochi lo yadati. When you struggle for your freedom, I am right here close at hand. All in all, the world gets better when we understand. I am all around in every daydream. I am all you are and all you know.
Thank you, Cantor. Thank you, Rabbi. Beautiful. Today is Veterans Day, and there's no apostrophe in Veterans Day. The internet is focused on this particular issue. It's not a day of veterans. It's a day where we recognize veterans. It's a day that we honor them. Currently, there are over 19 million active and retired members of our military. 19 million people. Veterans Day was originally called Armistice Day in recognition of the Armistice Agreement that ended World War I on November 11th, 1918, more than 100 years ago. And on June 1st, 1954, the name was changed. The Department of Veterans Affairs tells us that almost 42 million Americans have served in the military since 1776. And there's an amazing set of statistics that shows how many people they think, how many service people died in each of the wars that America has experienced. It's really remarkable. We are grateful for our veterans. And so I want to ask you now, if you are a veteran, to please rise. If you're a veteran. Okay? The statistics are 7% of Americans are veterans. If you have a parent who is a veteran, I'm going to ask you to rise. If you have a child who's a veteran, grandparent who's a veteran. Beautiful, beautiful. I want to share this blessing with you, and you can take a seat. I just wanted to acknowledge your service. Thank you for your service, and thank you to your parents for their service and their grandparents as well. I want to share this beautiful Veterans Day prayer by Alden Solovey. God of compassion, God of dignity and strength, watch over the veterans of the United States. In recognition of their loyal service to our nation, bless them with wholeness and love. Shelter them, heal their wounds, comfort their hearts, grant them peace. God of justice and truth, rock of our lives, bless our veterans, these men and women of courage and valor, with a deep and abiding understanding of our profound gratitude. Protect them and their families from loneliness and want. Grant them lives of joy and bounty. May their dedication and honor be remembered as a blessing from generation to generation. Blessed are you, protector and redeemer, our shield and our stronghold. And let us say together, Amen. And let us say together, thank you. And at this moment, we think about all those in our lives as we prepare to pray Misha Barak, a prayer of healing. We think about all those veterans, all those soldiers who died in service of our country, but as well we think about all those who are in need of healing, physical, emotional, spiritual healing, as well as our friends and family who might be in need of healing at this time. And if you have the name of someone you would like added to our prayers, I'm going to ask you to please rise and mention those names out loud. And if you're on the watch page or on the Facebook page, I invite you to, in Facebook, to enter those names into the text box there on Facebook as well. Thank you. Thank you. God, heal them now.
Adonai, heal me. Adonai, heal me. Adonai, heal me. Please heal me. Adonai, heal them. Adonai, heal them. Adonai, heal them. Adonai, heal them. Please heal them. Adonai, heal us. Adonai, heal us. Adonai, heal us. Adonai, heal us. Please heal us. Adonai.
We turn to page 282 and we face toward Jerusalem, toward the east, toward a sense of wholeness, words of Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'tet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, שלא שם חלקנו כהם וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. Take a few moments now to remember all those who came before us, those who may have died in years past at this season, those who may have died in recent days. As a congregation, we remember the more than 6 million men, women, and children who were murdered in the Shoah. Remember those who died in the struggle to reestablish the modern state of Israel and have died since that time, making sure our homeland exists for us and for Jews everywhere. Remember those who perished in the name of liberty, freedom, justice, and righteousness, all those many veterans that died, soldiers that died. Remember as well the innocent victims of hatred, ignorance, terrorism, disease, violence, and natural disaster. On this Shabbat, we remember friends and family whose yortzites are being observed and whose names have lovingly been inscribed in our alcove of remembrance. We remember Lee K. Abramson, Mildred Arkin, Ellie Crystal, Rose Dolberg, Max Iman, Sylvia First, Harry Gasworth, Alvin J. Goldberg, Francine Harold, Fanny Farber Kessler, Lena Kipnis, Samuel David Kleiner, Lillian Holtz Knoll, Morris Knoll, Audrey Koznitsky, Petya Maria Kroner, Al Levitt, Louis Miller, Sadie Osikow, Louis Platt, Irma Podvin, Esther Presser, Louis Radin, Jordan Alexander Ressler, Selma Rice, Paul Rosenbaum, Fred M. Rosenblum, Francis Rosenzweig, Jack Shapiro, Carl Suskin, Betty Turkel, Richard Vinnick. Remember as well friends and family whose yortzites are being observed at this time. We remember Chaim Ben Yosef Halevi, Jack Barron, Stanford Bloom, Leonard Bram, Mark Saul Budgazad, Raul Casares, Eleanor Channels Ware, Bernard Edelstein, Rose Frankel, Samuel Frankel, Gloria Lefton Fried, Max Ginsberg, Richard Israel, Erwin Jacobson, Leo Jacobson, Pearl Jaffe, Esther Sherman Kapp, Esther Levitin, Lilyan Livovich, George Lublin, Arthur L. Moses, Al Ostrov, Irene Panizzi, Ellie Reiter, David Rosenstein, I. David Samuels, Joel Schaefer, Myra Shear, Sylvia Steele, George Sugarman, Louis Swerdlow, Gerald Warren, Linda Joyce Wilner Post, Bryna Wise, Dorothy Young, Herbert Udy. We remember as well friends and family who've died in recent days, and their families remain in the shloshim of mourning, in the 30-day period of mourning. We remember Patricia Sukanik, Stephen David Borofsky, Scott Berkman, Margot London, Ida Harrison, Harriet Sterling, Carlos Frumkin. If there's a name that I haven't mentioned, you're saying Kaddish, you're in a period of mourning, you have a yortzeit, I'll ask you to please mention those names. Those who are on Facebook, I invite you to put those names into the text box so that we can remember them and see their names as well. And if there's a name that I haven't mentioned, I'll ask you to please rise and mention those names out loud, and please remain standing as we're going to join for Kaddish in a moment. Thank you. Zecher Tzaddik Livracha, may the memory of all the righteous in our lives be a blessing. as we rise and with one voice recite words of Kaddish found on page 294. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabbah, b'yalma divrah cherutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayei chon v'yomei chon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, b'gala v'zman kariv v'yimru, amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mivarak leolam olamei amaya, yitbarak v'yishtabak v'yitpa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei d'kudusha b'rechu, le'elah min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, da'amiran b'yalma v'yimru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru, amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu ya'asei shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru, amen. May the source of peace grant peace to all of you mourn, comfort all who are bereaved, and send healing to all who are saddened, as together we say, amen. Please be seated. It's my pleasure now to invite up Rachel Unger, a member of our board, to share greetings on behalf of the congregation. This Sunday, Rachel is being honored by the National Council of Jewish Women as an emerging leader. It's a beautiful, beautiful honor. I think they're confused. She way emerged a long time ago. She is a significant leader in our community, and Rachel, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Let's see how you do with announcements.
I'm going to try my best. I mean, listen, I got pants on today to come here, so that was a big moment for me. No, actually, it really was. I did notice that they might need to be dry cleaned, so don't look at me too closely. But Shabbat Shalom. I am Rachel Unger, and I am extremely excited to be here to wish Mazel Tov to the family of Sydney Schimmel on your bat mitzvah tomorrow morning, and to Emmy Basner on your bat mitzvah tomorrow afternoon, and to Adrian Turcado. I tried to get that name right. Did I do it? Wait, where are you, Adrian? Oh, there you are, with the baby. Okay. So, Adrian, thank you so much for sharing your personal journey with us. I have some questions. I'd like to continue talking with you because I was intrigued and may need to read what you actually wrote so that I can internalize it even more deeply. Emmy and Sydney, I have been so lucky to watch each of you grow up right before my eyes. Emmy, I truly loved, I hope you remember this, being your pre-K teacher many years ago, one of many of your pre-K teachers, but really, I was your favorite. And I enjoy your spunky spirit. I have also enjoyed being a justice warrior with your mom. Basners, you rock. Julie and Elliot, each of you has a character of gold, and we know we can always count on you. We are thrilled that this weekend is finally here. Sydney, I have had the pleasure of knowing you and your family before you were even born. And I'm so lucky to have earned a 5-star Uber rating from shuttling you back and forth from Ransom Swim Meets. You are a special human, and I'm so excited for what is to come for you this weekend. Val and Adam and family, Mazel Tov, you are very important to me and to Temple Beth Shalom. So now what they really asked me to be here is to tell you what's going on at Temple. So you can join us tomorrow, Saturday, November 13th, 9:30 a.m. for Torah study via Zoom, 10 a.m. for Tot Shabbat in person, everybody, not on Facebook, and 10:30 a.m. for Shabbat Minyan service in person and via Facebook Live and Zoom. Remember, you can join our ongoing adult education classes anytime. Looking ahead, on Tuesday, November 16th, the PTO is sponsoring a holiday bazaar starting at 9 a.m., so come on by because we'll all shop together. And on Thursday night, this sounds actually extremely fun. 6 p.m., Brotherhood is having their kickoff event, which is schnapps, yes? And schnitzel, that I know. What could be more fun than that? So please RSVP online. That same night, which again is November 18th at 7 p.m. online, Rabbi Glickstein will be having his class Foundations for Thoughtful Judaism, Mitzvot, and Commandments. So please check our weekly email or our website at tbsmb.org for information about other classes and other opportunities. And then finally, it is my great honor to share that Temple Beth Shalom is committed to welcoming the stranger as the Torah commands. So in collaboration with HIAS and JCS, we will be welcoming 1 or 2 Afghani refugee families to Miami in December. If you are interested in providing financial or logistical support, please contact Rabbi Pomerantz. Thank you, and Shabbat Shalom.
Rachel, you got the 5-star announcement rating. Mazel tov. So we're going to conclude our services with a little patriotism. We're going to sing a little God Bless America. Let's all stand up. Page 376. Let's count our blessings as human beings and as Americans.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white before. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.